American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. Recovery efforts are underway after the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed. Connor Hansen gives us the latest from near the scene.
Officials believe that ship lost propulsion before it slammed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge, one of its main supports. The ship was able to send out a warning, though, giving bridge officials some time to close the busy highway down to traffic. There were several construction workers on the bridge. 6 are still missing and 2 were rescued. And now we're hearing from Mexico's Consul General for this area, who says some of the victims were from Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. The investigation is just getting started into exactly how this happened.
Democrats lashing out at independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. after he announced Silicon Valley attorney Nicole Shanahan as his running mate. Shanahan is still a registered Democrat, but the pair say they are running as independents because the Democrat Party has lost its way.
Our values didn't change, but the Democratic Party did. The things that we love are still the same. We love our families, our children, and our faith. We love clean air and clean water and productive soils and good food. We love the wilderness and our Purple Mountains majesty. And above all, we love our country.
I want to point out, and I've been in touch with many people in the Democratic Party, I do believe they've lost their way in their leadership. I worry for the party's overwhelming interest in elitism, celebrity, and winning at all costs. And I worry that they do it even if that means turning a blind eye on the issues that they all know to be true.
Now, Democrats are worried that a third-party bid could sink Joe Biden's re-election effort.
We cannot afford Donald Trump to be back in the White House, which is what is going to happen if people don't see RFK for what he actually is, which is Donald Trump with a Kennedy name slapped on him.
The only purpose of Robert Kennedy running is to be a spoiler. His goal is to take votes from President Biden.
He's likely interested in trying to get Donald Trump elected. Maybe that's what this is about.
But the Real Clear Politics average shows Donald Trump leading in the race for the White House with or without RFK Jr. on the ballot. Joe Biden has a female running mate. RFK Jr. has a female running mate. Is the pressure on Donald Trump to follow suit? Chris Woodward spoke to someone that says yes.
Jenna Ellis posted on X that the pressure is definitely on Trump to select a female VP. Ellis thinks it should be former Representative and Democrat presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard.
And as much as conservatives would love to say that identity politics don't matter, they actually do when it comes to voting demographics. And also, just from my own experience having worked for President Trump, I know that it matters to him personally.
Ellis pointed to Trump's promise in 2020 to nominate a woman to the U.S. Supreme Court. Amy Coney Barrett was that nominee, and she replaced the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg later that year.
He's well aware of how identity politics works, even in not so conservative demographics with moderates, independents. So I think he is actually feeling that pressure, because if he were to choose a man, that would just be one other line of attack for the left and even RFK as an independent to level against him, and he wants to even that playing field. So I think he will choose a woman.
Okay, but why Gabbard?
He is very bombastic. People don't like the mean tweets. Tulsi is a calm presence. She is everything basically on media and on camera that Trump isn't.
Meanwhile, Ellis said this VP would need to bring in one or ideally more than one demographic that Trump currently does not have.
He needs someone that will appeal to suburban women, who will appeal to disaffected Democrats, and I think she'd be a great pick.
I'm Chris Woodward.
Asian shares are mixed after Wall Street slipped a bit further from its record highs. Oil prices fell while U.S. futures edged higher. On Tuesday, the S&P 500 fell 0.3%, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 0.1%, and the Nasdaq Composite fell 0.4%. More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty P.